And we are live again, folks, on the Michigan football breakdown. Focus on the defense with Vance Bedford. It's the second bye week. Gives the fellas, the experts, first Al, now Vance, a chance to take a deep dive into the upcoming opponent. In this instance, it's the Northwestern Wildcats, team that Vance has been talking about for a little while now. I said, watch out for those Wildcats. You going down to the Shire, you're going down to the land, and it's not gonna be easy. These dudes, they tough, they well coached, they're smart, and it's gonna be a tough game for Michigan. And with that, we got my man Vance on the train. How you doing, Vance?
Doing fantastic, man. Sam, we got beautiful weather today. It's going to get right at 70 degrees. 2 days ago, we had a high of 60, low of 22. So, that's Colorado weather, so you can't beat it. But, man, it's a beautiful day today. And I'm looking forward to talking about Northwestern because I was worried about them 2 weeks ago. And after breaking them down a little bit, I'm really worried right now.
Yeah, man. You talked a lot about the defensive line in the last game, and it sounds like you're offering some warnings that if they played the way they played against Purdue against Northwestern, it would be a problem, Vance. And so, as you sort of get into your deep dive into Northwestern, why were you so worried about Northwestern based on what you have seen from Michigan so far?
Sam, if I watch that offensive line, I'm looking at Michigan. They run duo. I mean, and they just maul defensive linemen. Ask the nose guard from USC. I bet he wanted to quit. They were knocking them 5 yards off the ball. And then if the duo's not working, they go to the outside zone and protect and go out to the perimeter. Then after that, they actually run stretch, take it outside. They also run some counter. So all the things that we've been talking about, we've had some issues with. And they're closer to USC. Remember we talked about Michigan State was West Coast, and after watching the game, I'm like, no, they're not even close. These guys remind me a little bit of USC, except they're more physical in running the ball. A lot of screens to the running back, a lot of screens to the wide receivers. West Coast concepts, quick game, smash concepts. That's the hitch with a corner route, drive concept. Number two coming underneath, and the other tight end, he's doing a dig route. Everything that we have struggled with over this season, Sam, they do it. Then they go shift, they motion, then empty. They make us think. I'm hoping that we're healthy at the linebacker position because I don't want to see a freshman or inexperienced guy playing linebacker because of what they're doing defensively. And I tell you what, Penn State, they do a lot of zone pressure like we did. Sam, I saw a defensive tackle go from the B gap to the opposite A gap by mistake, and the linebacker was blitzing. It went about 15 yards. That happened 2 or 3 times. And I talked about that last week, about our moving and our blitzing. So it's very important that if we move in the front, that we hit the proper gap. Penn State didn't. It cost them a lot of big plays. And 2 weeks ago, it cost us too. Everybody talking about how poorly the linebacker plays. I went to the defensive lineman. They were moving to the wrong gap. Not once or twice, but quite often. So I was trying to make a point about future games. We need to get that cleaned up, and hopefully, in a 2-week period, we got that cleaned up. If not, Sam, we don't want to be in the fourth quarter and only up by 3. I'm just going to be honest with you. If we're only up by 3, I think we're in trouble. I don't know if we can win the ball game. I'm just going to be honest. Just watching our team play and watching how our offense plays and watching what these guys do in the fourth quarter, we need to be up by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they definitely need more complementary football in this game. It's a good team, well coached team. They're really really physical. They run it. You look at them offensively. They run the football well, and they actually throw it a little bit. They throw it decent.
So our quarterback is a good player. This guy, he trusts his wide receivers, Sam. I'm watching USC. USC playing a man-to-man. The guy has great coverage. He threw it up for grabs. His receiver came down. Against Penn State. Penn State playing some man-to-man. Guy run a corner out like he in great coverage, touchdown. So he's not afraid to give his receivers an opportunity to go make plays. And Sam, they've been making some plays. Like I said, USC just flat outscored them. At the USC game, it was 3 drives. USC had the ball twice, 14 points. Northwestern only had the ball 1 time, 7 points. So they both ate the clock up with long drives because they both are very similar in their attack offensively. As far as running the ball, quick game, a lot of screens to receivers and running backs. We've had problems with some of the screen game. And Sam, I've seen a bunch of empty too. I hope we have the right adjustments to empty. And we talked about this after the USC game, 12 personnel and Bear, be real careful. Because to me, their number one formation is personnel. As long as the game is close, it's 12 personnel. And they shift like they go to empty out of 12. They'll spread you out, and then they're just going to pound you to death. And so we need to have an excellent game plan with base defense versus 12 personnel.
Yeah, so you would keep staying away from trying to match up with the personnel, and you would match up with more, like you said, base defense, and try to do it with the guys that you have in that package.
And I know that he's going to, after USC, he got away from Bear versus 12, but that's still his nature. He's going to go back to who he is. But I don't have an issue with that. The problem with Bear versus the formation that they will see, duo is a lot easier. You with me? To double the threes and knock you off the ball. And now it's all of a sudden there's creases in there. Now it's on the secondary. And that's what you can get into. So you got to be careful about giving them angles on that D-line. The next thing, years ago, people see Bear defense. The first thing they go to is counter. Counter's in their game plan. They're pretty good at it too. Because now you have angles, you have down blocks on everybody. And now if the back is on fit right, it's on the secondary for 10, 15-yard gain. And we miss some tackles in the secondary because guys trying to, like Hillman, he's trying to blow people up. Just get them on the ground. Live to play another day. So we have some issues. We've had 2 weeks to get guys healthy, 2 weeks to correct some issues we had the previous week, 2 weeks to get ready to all the shift to empty, all the duos and everything else. So there's no excuse for us not to execute when you have 2 weeks to get ready for something.
Man, I got to send a shout out to Towns Health Services. This dude be coming with the super chats.
Oh, my goodness.
Coming with the super chats.
$500 Oh, wow.
Coming with the super chats. Towns Health Services. Man, that's love right there.
Oh, my goodness.
That is love and support. Appreciate you, man. That's love and support. That is love and support. Hey, these shows to get Vance and Al on every week. They break down the film. And then we got producers who cut up the film and chop them up and do clips. And then we got guys who do they we got guys who edit, we got guys who produce, we got guys who put them up on who handle the YouTube. Man, when you come through with the super chats like that, it helps the whole operation. It helps the whole operation. So appreciate the love from Towns Health Services.
Amen.
That is big time. That is big time love right there. Outstanding. Appreciate it. I normally I don't stop in the middle, but that super chat kind of knock you off your feet.
Man, you have to do that one, Sam. Now he's off the top. He's going to Mount Everest on that one.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's a true Michigan man. Yeah, absolutely. People say, I never seen a $500 super chat ever. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's outstanding. Appreciate you. Man, that's big time. Okay. Whoa, I gotta act like I've been there before. Appreciate you, Towns Health Services. Hey, Vance, you were talking about, okay, let's get back to the show. You were talking about how you wouldn't match up with 12 personnel. Okay. So like I did with Al. Okay, so you know what you're gonna see. They come out with 12, and then they, in some instances, they're gonna play it like it's 11. In some instances. Now they can maul you, but they're versatile with it. So how would you approach it if you were the DC?
The game has changed so much from the 90s and when I was at Michigan. We used to have our base call was under defense. In other words, that's when you get a line, that's a shade to the tight end, a gap, a 5 technique that's on the tackle, and a 9 technique that's on the tight end. And as I became a coordinator, been around different guys, I went to field defense. In other words, my stand back was always to the field. My 5 technique was to the field. The shade, the 2-eye or the 1 technique to the field. The 3 technique to the boundary, and the 5 or 6 technique is to the boundary. In other words, I don't care what you come out in, I'm setting ready to go. You can shift everybody. You know what? We're just going to look, and I'll throw a count. If I'm the Sam linebacker, Sam, I line on number 2. I count from the widest guy, that's 1, to the next guy is 2. Just that simple. If I'm the Mike, I relate to 3. Can you count to 3, Sam? 1, 2, 3. It's just that simple. So I'm going to get a line, and off of that, I'm going to have my zone package off of that. I really am. I'm going to keep it simple because then they come up and unbalance in 12 personnel. In other words, they could have 4 or 5 guys to the field. And so all you got to do, if you got field defense, you just shift 1 man over. Don't worry about it. If they're empty, we all just got to count. The Sam, Mike, and the Will relates to 2 to the boundary. Mike is the final 3. The Sam is 2 to the field. You get them lined up. Whenever coverage you choose to play, it's been a lot of 2-eye, whether it's quarters, a quarter, half. It's set. You're ready to go. And off of that, you last year, he ran a lot of nickel Sam. In other words, the Sam back is blitzing. You angle into the boundary. You can run 2 or cover 3. Jason Minner's still doing that in the National Football League. So is Mike McDonald playing field defense. So I'm going to take the pressure off my guys of not worry about all the trades, the shift, the empties. I'm going to get my down guys lined up and say, man, put your feet in the ground, get anchored, get ready for the duo runs and the gap scheme plays, and do not get knocked off the ball. It's just that simple. And if you move, where's the back? Shorten your steps. So if I'm in the A gap, so whether we go in the B gap, don't end up in the C gap. That happened 2 weeks ago. So the now the linebacker has no chance. So I'm working on those things. I want to get my guys aligned, get set, get ready to go, and be aggressive. Just that simple.
So be aggressive. You know, it's interesting. Someone put up a stat a couple weeks ago. I didn't verify this stat. So let me put it up as something that was said but not confirmed. Where they said Michigan's pressure rate or blitz rate for the game was like 11% or something like that. So it was like they had gone from, the highest pressure team in the country to all of a sudden one of the lowest pressure teams in the country, basically relying on 4 to get after the quarterback. And Vance, you seem to not be in agreement with going that far to the other side. So
no.
How aggressive, when you say be aggressive, would you be aggressive with your pressure?
Of course I would. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm going to adjust what I'm doing based on the team I'm playing. Everybody has some base calls that go in every ball game. You have 11 ball games or 12 ball games. Guess what? You got 3 or 4 pressures. Sam, they in every ball game. Your players should be able to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You call that defense, everybody knows what to do. Everybody has that. If you don't, then you don't have a plan at all. So my base pressure is going to every ball game. Then you have certain pressures to attack what they are doing. Okay, so and I look at 2 weeks ago. What do you call pressure? Does that mean bringing more than 4? Does that bring in 5? Well, you have simulated pressures when you're bringing 4, which is what he did last week, 2 weeks ago. In other words, he's dropping defensive ends. He kept pressuring the will linebacker, whether it was in the A gap or whether they came outside, only bringing 4. That didn't really count as a pressure. But on paper, offensively, they're going to say, well, you're bringing a linebacker. So initially in the game, it appears to be a pressure because a linebacker who normally is a dropper is now blitzing. A defensive end who's normally a rusher is now dropping. So based on what you call pressures, or those pressures are not pressures. I don't know how that person came up with that number or how you define what a pressure is.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. So I don't have that information, but it sounds like, according to Cut from a Different Cloth, the stat came from Joel Klatt. He said Joel Klatt said 50% was the blitz rate. And then for that game, they dropped down to 11%. He said, I remember that. So where would you be? I think you said you'd be around 25%, Vance. Is that what you said?
It's going to be 25 to 35% based on the team we're playing and how successful we are in what we're doing. I mean, when you get into a game, if you're not having success and they picking your things up, you adjust and get out of it. And you go back to what the kids are comfortable with so they can go out and execute. Because a lot of times Allow the players to win by putting them in position to be successful. Don't think you got to come up with some genius idea to say, we got to go make a play. That gets you in trouble because now the players are not going to be aggressive because guess what they're thinking. And again, with the team you're about to play, Sam, they'll shift from like it's 13 personnel. They go to empty on. Can your guys get a line with the coverage you had? You remember go back to USC, we couldn't get a line, Sam. We had bust all over the place. Like they had never seen it. So let's not fall back into that trap because we're trying to be so smart that now we take away the aggressive play of our players because they can't get a line properly. And it's not the players, it'd be us. And as a coach, I've always believed that.
Mm-hmm. So you raise some interesting points, and you say rob the aggressiveness of our players. Obviously, you know who I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about number one, Barham. Now, you couldn't really gauge that in the last game because he goes out on basic. I think it's the first play he gets hurt. But before that, Vance, we had seen since the USC game where he was overly aggressive, right? He took himself out of several plays. He had played better responsibility football after that game, but you made the observation. You said, I'm not really noticing him, Sam. I'm not really seeing him out there, kind of wreaking the kind of havoc he was before. And so I'm wondering how you split the difference, how you find there has to be a halfway point, Vance, between him just playing with reckless abandon and him basically being a self-check out there, being too cautious in his play.
I would have one question. Does he understand the defense well enough to know what to do? That's all it comes down to. Being aggressive, I used to use this term, as to call it 3 A's: alignment, assignment, and be aggressive. Then a linebacker coach I had in Chicago Bears said, no, it's not 3 A's, it's 4 A's. Alignment, assignment, adjustment, and then be aggressive. He's right. Can our players adjust the formations, understand their alignment, and then the assignment to go be aggressive? Now, if he can do those things, Sam, he can play a reckless abandon. He has all 4 of those in his wheelhouse. And right now, I haven't seen that out of him. He's going 1,000 miles a minute, and I don't want to take that aggressive play away from him. So how do we utilize his skill set to benefit our football team? Is that putting him back a linebacker and letting him blitz where he can have a free rush? Is that playing defensive end to turn it loose and let it go? But my question is, and I brought this up 2 weeks ago, last week really, is the defensive line coach getting the kids in line properly to recognize what's happening to them? Okay, are they too tight? Are they too wide? What is he looking at? So as you break down film, when you sit down with your players, Sam, you teach players how to watch video. So if I'm a defensive end, I have to be looking at where's the back, okay? What type of stance is the offensive tackle in? Is he heavy on his hand, which is a run read? Is he sitting light? Is he gotten a little bit close to the guard, which means he's trying to run a scoop scheme? That's part of the responsibility of the D-line coach to teach these kids how to watch video. So when you start the game, I'm looking for all those keys. That tells me how to play. And what I'm saying sometimes, I don't always see that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, they definitely need some of that havoc without the hell that they paid when he was out of position, because it was USC made him pay.
Sam, if I'm Northwestern and I see Barham a defensive end, I'm running 2 plays. I'm running a stretch at him because he's been reached because he plays too heavy on the tackle. I'm going to run a counter. And they do run some power based off of formation. They put the tight end in the backfield, and they do it that way too. But I'm going to see if he's going to execute. So I'm going to test him. But again, I mean, when I watch video, I'm looking at football is about a game of matchups. I mean, sometimes coaches forget that if a player is showing me some type of weakness, I'm going to go find that out early in the ball game to see has that been corrected. If not, he's going to see me the whole ball game, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah. So feeling pretty good about Cole Sullivan. It sounds like there's some optimism about him coming back. You get some guys back coming off the bye. That will help. That will help tremendously, and also helps that this was around the time last year where both Hausmann and Barham, for that matter, started playing well. But we've already started to see, and you talked about it in the last game, you said Hausmann was all over the field, and he can really take his game up to that level that he was playing at last year. It can make all the difference for this defense.
I think so. I think early in the year, after he finished so strong last year, I think he was pulling his oats the first half of the season. I'm the guy. I'm the dude. I can do this. I can do that. No. If you play within a framework of this football team of what we have set up, you could be a baller. When you all of a sudden you think, hey, I'm going to go make this play because that's who I am, then you playing outside the framework of the scheme, all of a sudden you just look like an average Joe out there. And at some point, that's how he looked, like an average Joe. In the last couple of ball games, because of injuries, he had to be the dude to have other guys get lined up. He's falling back into, hey, this is the defense. I execute here. I'm going to make my plays. And I always say this, Sam, if you just make your plays, those are great plays. When you go out to try to make a great play, a lot of times you get embarrassed. You embarrass the entire football team. Just do your job. That means you're making great plays. Just go execute.
Yeah, got some options. Zeus says, sounds good. We caught fire this same time last year, and I'm confident in the guys. This ain't your old Michigan from the teens that would get upset dominating time. We'll see.
But Sam, to me right now, the way things are, I'm not saying that Northwestern win or lose is be an upset or not. They're a good football team. People looking at Northwestern, you think, well, Northwestern that's Northwestern. It's a different era. It's the era of NIL. Well, think about this, Sam. Each team in the Big Ten got $20.5 million to build a roster. The school got that, and I think that the football team gets 75% of that. So guess what? They paying the same amount of money as Michigan. Now, you got NIL on top of that. Well, Northwestern got a whole lot of millionaires and billionaires, too, that can support that program. They can go get them some players, too. They can get them in school. So be careful about, well, that's the old Northwestern. It isn't. It's a different era right now, and a lot of fans don't realize that.
Absolutely.
Look at Indiana right now. Whoever would have thought a basketball program have a football team doing what they're doing this year and last year. So we need to be careful about thinking this is old Northwestern.
You're right. If you have questions for Vance, put them in the chat. If you have questions for Vance, put them in the chat. So Vance, I ask you a very specific question about how you would handle 12 personnel. I'm going to ask you a broader question. You've scouted Northwestern now. You've seen Michigan all season. Give me your defensive game plan for this game as you're about to face the Wildcats down at Wrigley.
I know they come in 12 personnel. I'm going to field defense. As I talked about it, you know it's going to be a set of two out to the field, tackle 5 technique, Sam line on number 2. I'm going to come back with you right now. I'm bringing the old Sam stunt, which is good. We're only rushing 4. I'm going to bring the corner from the boundary. I'm going to do a Sam and Mike stunt, real simple stuff. I'm going to be aggressive. Don't line up. I'm going to play cover 6 and cover 4 out of field defense. They could shift motion all they want to. We're going to be sitting ready to go. When they come up in unbalanced, because we're in field defense, the Mike linebackers say everybody shift to the right, one man, we're sitting ready to go. There's no confusion. I understand they're going to do some screens. So when I'm in cover 6 and cover 4, I'm going to be stunting my front. The 3 technique and the 5 technique, I'm doing a TE stunt, tackle vertical in around. Now when they try to run a screen with the back to the boundary, guess what? The stunt takes care of that right now. So I'm going to be simple. I've got a few basic things I want to do. I'm going to have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Gave it to you. Gave you some the cheat code. That's what we need to call Vance on how to get ready for the Wildcats down in their home territory. Not their home field, but their home territory. Going to be playing at Wrigley, which will be really
the Ghost of Wrigley Field. That's a beautiful venue. If you ever been there, man, the surrounding area with the bars, the neighborhood, man, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I went there a couple of years ago. With I talked about this on the show with the McCarthys and some other guys on the football team. It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. Had never been to Wrigley before, and had always wanted to go. And it is definitely a cool vibe, a cool venue. The neighborhood is outstanding. We're going to be doing a pregame show at one of the local bars called Moe's Cantina.
Okay.
I think the tickets for the event are sold out, but it's going to be a lot of Michigan, obviously, a lot of Michigan fans in the area. So, going to have a great, great time. And we're going to stream it. So, for folks who can't be there, it's going to be like you're there because we're going to stream it live. We're going to have a lot of former Wolverines dropping by, right? We're going to try to get, they said they're going to try to get me Chase Winovich. You know what? They told me Sam Seward going to be in the building. So, going to try to get Sam on. Right, we're gonna even try to get. They said John. We're gonna get some basketball guys. Gonna get John Beeline on. We got a lot of great guests coming up for you down there. A lot of former greats gonna be in the house, so we'll be having them on the show. So looking forward to that. If you have questions for Vance, though, put them in the chat now, and we will start knocking them down. And let's get right on over to it. And the first one comes from Team Ukraine. Hey, Coach, what do you think is causing our team to let them stay in the game when we seem to be more dominant? You are the reason for us to win in the national championship against Ohio.
Oh, my goodness. Part of our issue is that it takes a team to win. And right now, we're just not scoring enough points. Our quarterback has to settle down. He took a lot of hits early on, first two ball games, so I think he's been a little bit rattled. If he settles down a little bit, our receivers are playing better. We score some points. Defense keep doing what they're doing. We need to improve in special teams. We'll be okay. But when you're scoring 17 and 21, 24 points a game, every game is going to be close. And that's where we are right now. So as a team, we need to improve in all areas right now to really be a dominant football team.
Let's go back to the questions for Vance. And the next one comes from this is actually a really good point. If you didn't watch the game, Northwestern was really good against USC despite the game not being close. And USC cheated. They had the backup quarterback in the punter's number, and he throws a pass on fourth down, trick play, or fake punt. And that was illegal as hell, man. They thought it was legal because they changed the number like a couple weeks ago and put the backup quarterback in the same number as the punter. And, Lincoln Riley's like, yeah, I'm glad the media didn't catch it. And Northwestern's coach is like, yeah, I mean, we should have been more attentive, give them credit. But the Big Ten came out and said, no, actually, it's against the rules to have two players playing the same position wearing the same number. That should have been allowed.
Sam, that game wouldn't blow out now. If you take that play out of that game, it could be a different ball game. USC had a hard time stopping the run. The issue is USC could score points, and that's the difference in that ball game. You take away that, you take that one play out of there, Sam. That game could be going to the fourth quarter because USC had no answers for the duo, had no answers for counter. They were knocking at nose guard to never land. I think he was saying uncle. I mean, Sam, he was a linebacker. See, he wanted no parts of that double team, Sam.
Yeah.
So you take that play out, that game wasn't a blowout. Now that game's a lot closer than what you think it is.
Yeah, man, it was. All right, I just got to put up Towns Health Services again. I got to put it up again just to give him a shout out. And people reacted to them. That's a huge super chat. We appreciate all super chatters. Helps the operation keep going and growing. And people were giving him love. Stop the podcast. Give Towns Health Services 5 stars. He said, no more Costco hot dogs. We filet mignon now. He said, it's for real. The super chat turns up red. You never seen a red super chat before. Normally they're yellow and green. But this one was red. That's like, okay. Definitely giving some love on that. All right, let's go to the next question. They saw your reaction, Vance. Said you came up looking like the price is right when you hit $1 on the wheel.
Hold on, just a minute.
Yeah, all right.
Got my little puppy.
Okay, that's Juno.
4 months old. Juno.
Look at Juno.
He's all of 6 pounds right now. He's crying because Maggie had to leave. So he is there. Look at him.
Juno made his debut. Okay. Coach Vance. This one comes from Kwame. He says, Coach Vance, I think we need to rotate on defense less. What say you?
I've been saying that, Sam. I've been saying that for the last month. And I don't understand why they're doing it. I don't know if it's injuries, the confidence. I don't know what it is. I'm not there to evaluate that. But as watching football games, you don't get a feel for the game. If I'm a defensive tackle, I want to get a feel for how they're blocking me. So in the fourth quarter, when the game on the line, I know what to expect just by a stance, by splits, because they rotating guys. They never get a feel for that. And that's just an opinion. You have to give big guys rest. But again, like I said, it's either 60-40 or 70-30.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not he getting 15, he getting 15, he getting 10. No, I can't do that. Somebody got to have a feel for the game. I got to have a guy who is the starter. Yeah. You my dog, let's go. And I don't know if they know that just yet. That's because they rotating guys so much.
Yeah, I think coming off the bye, and that was something that I actually wrote about, like a dude like Derek Moore, that's exactly the percentage I use. I said, 60 or 70% of the snaps, you got to go with your horses, your dogs, and then, then you get your other guys in. So I'm not saying completely kill your rotation, but now that you're in a stretch run, and certainly when you get to Ohio State, shorten the rotation or lessen the rotation, so to speak, would seem to be, you got to have your best guys on the field when it counts. So.
You really do. And right now, if you ask me who the best guys are, I couldn't tell you, Sam. I really couldn't. I mean, they rotate guys so much. Moore has played so much better the last couple of games. I mean, a guy has stepped up, quite a bit. I mean, Barham, in my opinion, is still one of the best players on defense, but he's not playing that way right now for some reason. So they have some things that hopefully over the open day they got fixed because they need to get fixed.
Mm-hmm. Juno getting some love. Juno a star now.
Yeah, he is.
Juno getting 5 stars.
All of 4 months old and 6 pounds 2 ounces.
Vance said, "Hey, Vance, that's a good looking pup right there." Yeah, giving you some love. Hey, they said it's NIL, Vance. You got to have a longer rotation in the age of NIL, coach.
No, you don't. Hey, no, you don't. Because guess what? They want to leave. You find another one. You really will. And again, I said this last week. I was listening to a podcast about Texas, and they were talking about how certain freshmen were getting paid $1 million and they're not starting. Well, in the offensive line, well, what freshman gonna come start? If you have 100 freshmen offensive linemen across the nation that are 5-star guys, it might be 5 of them starting. The other guys can be backups. They're not ready to play Division I football, big time football. It's just how it is. So you got to spend money, and so you still got to wait on guys right now. And that's just part of what it is. When you put freshmen out there in the offensive line, and they're going against veterans, so you got an 18-year-old going against a 24-year-old. Sam, who's going to win the battle most of the time?
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful. NIL, you know what? You want to leave, I'm going to find another one just right. I'm paying you $100,000, I'll pay him $101,000. I'll give me another one. That's how it works, Sam. You're going to the highest bidder.
Hey,
but Nick Saban said it right. It's not about just NIL getting players. It's making sure you put your money getting the right players. And there are a lot of programs out there paying a lot of money. They're not getting the right players, and they're losing. And they're getting coaches fired. So you better win right now. If you worry about guys leaving, okay, you're going to get fired in there. So get your dogs out there and let them go. If a guy not happy or content, they're going to leave anyhow. There's nothing you can do about that. They're waiting for the highest bidder. So I'm worried about right now. I'm worried about winning this game right now, this season right now. I don't know what's going on. I might not live to see tomorrow. Take care of the day. That's all you need to worry about. So NIL, hey, brother, goodbye and good luck. I'm sorry.
What did you say, Vance? That's why I retired.
That's why I retired. Because you can't change who you are, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're not going to come to, and I listen to people talk all the time, well, you can't coach them hard or you can't do this and you can't do, well, wait a minute now. If I can't coach you to go out there and run this defense, well, guess what I'm doing, Sam? That for sale sign in front of my wife's house. When I look at you and NIL and everything else, I'm trying not to move, Sam. So if you don't like the way I'm coaching, Number one, I say I'm getting you ready for two things. To be a real man and go out in the real world, be an extension of your mom and dad, so one day you be successful. And if you're good enough, hopefully hone your skill set so now you can go to the National Football League and make a career of it if it's possible. So if you don't like me doing that for you, well, goodbye and good luck. I'm gonna find somebody who wants to do that, and they're gonna sit there and they think in long term, not short term. I want guys who think in long term, Sam. If you're a short term guy, you don't need to be around me. You're the kind of guy gonna get me fired. And that's how I look at it. It's just my guys in the NFL, I still in contact with some of my DBs. They say, Coach, you was crazy. You should tell us all the time. I like you guys, but I love my wife. And that's just real. I mean, this is an NFL. That was NIL too. They got paid, but they understood I cared about them as young men. But at the same time, now if you can't do right, goodbye and good luck.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, let's get back to the questions for Vance. Opitz 30 says, Vance, what defense can the boys play that takes away the quick, short yardage throws and protects against the deep balls? But you want to basically want to cover everything. That's what that's what they need against the Bucknuts.
Hey, pass rush, get your hands up for the quick game, but they play enough too high to take away some of the things. The next thing is, it appears to me the backers are spot dropping. In other words, they drop the spots. Mm-hmm. We play a West Coast team, so they go to spots. And if that's a situation, we're not stopping that. You got to match up, and when you recognize pass, you got to put a body on a body, even zone football. Otherwise, we are not going to stop their passing game unless our front four or whatever zone pressure he shows up in his ball game can get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question, Vance. You kind of answered it already, but can a spot drop team be a good zone team against a modern passing offense?
I think it's tough, Sam. You count on a pass rush to make the quarterback throw bad passes. And if you go back to when Tampa Bay was great, everybody talking about the Tampa system. Well, everybody who ran that system had 2 or 3 first-round picks in the D-line. So therefore, the quarterback had to get rid of the football. They were all spot dropping. When people finally start blocking those guys, you don't see many people under that concept anymore. Mm-hmm. They'll sprinkle it in, but it really doesn't work anymore because what you just said, quarterbacks are better, receivers are better, the offensive line is better. So you got to match things up, put a body on a body as much as you can. And right now, watching this play, we spot drop. I could be wrong, but that's the observation that seems to show up on television as I watched the Michigan plays.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is a good question for Team Ukraine. Hey, Coach, what do you mean with base defense? Are we going to be in a dime? Or are we going to be in a nickel? What do you mean by base defense?
Good question. I apologize for not explaining that to you. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs. You know, when people talk about base, that's going back to people playing 21 and 12 personnel, you're getting your base. On 1st and 10, even versus 11 personnel, if the tendency is for them to run it, you go to base defense again. Again, that's 4 down linemen, 2 tackles, 2 defensive ends, 3 linebackers. I call them Sam, Mike, and Will, and 4 defensive backs, 2 corners, and 2 safeties. When you say nickel, now what you're doing, you're taking away a linebacker. You still got 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and now you have 5 defensive backs. Dime, then you probably taking away another linebacker, or you can take away a defensive end based on who those people are. Good question. Sorry I didn't explain that sooner.
All right. This one comes from Lakers 8823. Hi, Vance. Do you agree that Michigan must start fast with the offense to win this game?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Don't go out there and get a 3 and out, and they get good, and Northwestern get good field position. Don't do that. I mean, we need to start fast. We need to score. Or we need to have a good long drive, and if we've got to punt the football, we get them inside to the 20. Now they got to go 80 to 85 yards, and that benefits us. If you give them a short field, we're going to be in trouble. We cannot allow that to happen in this ball game.
All right. Next question comes from Kwame. Much love from Kwame here every week. Appreciate you, brother. Says, Vance, would love to hear your insight on how Jair Hill and Zeke Berry performed against Purdue.
Again, I thought both those guys did some really good things. we got to do a better job though in zone coverage. We playing a lot of quarter, half, third down and long, play something too high. I'm concerned about our corners giving up hollow routes. What I mean by that is that you got someone in the flat 5 yards or less, and there's another guy behind them 15 yards. They are jumping the route 5 yards deep, where in zone football as a corner, you got to play from deep to short. And that has happened throughout the season. It's just not Purdue game. It's an entire year. But otherwise than that, both of those guys, in my opinion, are tackling pretty good, Sam. Hill is really upped his game. And we thought Barry did a great job last year when he moved from nickel to corner. And I wish he hadn't had an injury because I thought he was playing really well. So we have two solid corners right there. And I know right now we rotating some really good freshmen in there. And okay, I could see that. But when the game is on the line, when I don't see those two guys in there, Sam, I got issues. Those are my boys. And I know we got a talented freshman. Well, they're not showing up right now. When the game is on the line, who are your best players in there? It's just that simple.
All right. This one comes from Harvey Norwood on Facebook. Harvey asks, last year, did we play more base defense from mid-season to the end and in the Ohio State game?
No, it's based on who you're playing. We were primarily a nickel defense. In other words, we got 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers, and 4 down linemen. So if you came out and 12 personnel, that's 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and 1 back, then he would go to his base package. Okay, he'll go with now extra linebacker in there and take a DB out. So it's based off of personnel is how he does things.
All right, on to the next one for Vance. So Vance, Team Ukraine wants to know, what do you think of Penn State? What do you think Ohio State? Penn State obviously fired the coach, just went down to Indiana, but at least they showed some heart.
Penn State showed some heart in that ball game. Now they gave everything they had, but again, it shows you, to be honest, how good Indiana actually is. They never gave up. Penn State didn't want that ball game. I'm being honest with you, but they didn't. So Indiana right now, good football teams find ways to win. Ohio State's the best team in the country. In my opinion, Ohio State the best team in the country. I think Ryan Day, Michigan gave Ryan Day some balls. Excuse my French. After Michigan beat him last year, he grew a pair. He now realized get out of the way and let these horses run. Just move them around. And he's doing that this year with a young quarterback. They playing probably the best football they played. They playing better football right now than what they did any time last year, Sam, on both sides of the ball. And that's scary. He's kind of gotten out of the way, and they're doing some things to utilize the skill set outside. They lost 2 really good running backs. But the receiver and the quarterback's better right now than the quarterback they had last year, Sam. And so they are a dangerous team, and defensively, they got a nice team, good players. Down still at safety, the leader of that defense. They are, in my opinion, the best team in the country.
So, you said Ryan Day went and grew some balls, but his balls ain't been checked yet, Vance.
Sam, I know how much you on Ryan Day, but to go win a national championship, no, it's just me. I can't speak for anybody else. Now, I'm going to go win a national championship now. I don't care who you are. We can play in the backyard. I'm going to knock you out.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
It's confidence to be, and then they're going to play at home. They're going to play in Columbus this year, right?
No, they got to play in Harvard. They
played
in Columbus last year against a team with a walk-on quarterback who couldn't throw the ball across the street.
Now, that might make him a little nervous. You with me? But again, if he just gets out of his way, again, I think they have the most talented team in the country. The only thing that can hold them back is Ryan Day. Mm-hmm. And I think by winning a national championship, winning some close games, he realizes if I can just don't get in the way, let my coaches coach, we can win another national championship. And just I've seen them play twice, and I'm impressed with them on both sides of football, and their special teams are really good. Our special teams got to get better, Sam, just to let you know that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the team is – the IQ of the team is impressive. I am thoroughly impressed with how well They've taken a guy like Patricia and played up to a level beyond expectations, given he's a first year college coordinator. That is something to be impressed by, even with as talented as they are. And yet, Vance, the true test, I mean, we talking about the true test is the last game of the season. The true ball check is the one that has taken those balls the last 4 years. So until you get past that nut cutting, I'm not going to say you have them. That's what I got to see. And time again, they told me last year it was no hope. It was no hope. I mean, as bad as you think Michigan's offense is this year, and as good as you think Ohio State is this year, that team last year, they were like, oh, this is the best Ohio State team we've ever seen. We've never seen. This might be the best college team of all time. That's what they were saying last year, Van. So as much as we're talking about how good this one is, that was the best college team of all time. And Michigan went in their house without a quarterback. No disrespect, but essentially without a quarterback, without a passing game. Listen, without a passing game.
85 yards passing.
85 yards passing, without their best DB, right? Without their leading receiver passing wise and Colston Loveland, and went and dusted them on their home field. I'm sorry. I'm not just going to concede and say, oh my God, Ryan Day has figured it out. He figures it out when he beats Michigan. That's when I say he figured it out. That's what I say. Okay, he got it. But until then, I will say this. This is what I'll concede, Vance. If Ryan Day can come in here and have a two score lead heading to the fourth quarter, Michigan's getting wiped out of that game. I mean, it's canceled Christmas.
Yeah.
If it's close, Vance, hey, buy some stock in Clorox, buy some stock in Tide, buy some stock in, I don't know, whatever industrial form of cleaner that's out there, because they going to need it in Columbus, because all of them going to be streaked. I'm just telling you, Vance. I'm getting ready for it. Hey, see, you just trust me. Vance, I trust you on the X's and O's. I trust you implicitly. Trust me on the psychology. I'm telling you, don't put this dude in a close game with Michigan.
I agree with you on that part. If he gets close and he gets involved with the offense, Michigan will win that ball game. But you're right. It's got to be close in the fourth quarter. Really, it's got to be within 3 points. And he might choke because all of a sudden he's going to try to take over play calling, and now you win a football game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, hey, listen, he has done a good job of beating the other teams. But it ain't about the other teams, right? It's funny. Right. They won a national championship last year, and all they hear is, yeah, but you didn't beat Michigan. And it ain't even just Michigan people saying that. I mean, they hear from everybody. They can't escape it. Buckeye fan came in and said, he came in the other show and said, quit your crying over here, Michigan fans, because Ohio State going to repeat again this year. Repeat getting that ass whooped. That's what you came over here to talk about. That's what you came over here to say. Like, come on, man. And you got to come up with something different. So we shall see. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to come up and do to Michigan what they've done to other teams, but they're saying it's impossible for Michigan to beat them again, just like they said it was impossible for Michigan to beat them last year. And I'm calling BS on that. All right, let's go back to the questions for Vance. We got a couple more. So this one is, Grant Info says, Vance, dumb question. Why is there less motion offense in college compared to the NFL?
You know, it's based on, I guess it's based on the kind of game you're playing. It's people who run up tempo, they on the ball real fast. You can't motion if you're doing that. If you want to go fast and tempo, you got to get lined up and start playing right now. Teams who don't do tempo, you look at USC doesn't motion like they used to. Why? Because he's going more of a West Coast. So he gives you the impression of going fast, but he doesn't because he wants to motion and shift. So the up-tempo has really kind of left college football. You only might have 20% of the team doing that right now. It's getting back more to conventional football. Guys on the line of scrimmage, but now you're getting motions, you're getting trades, you're getting shifts. Northwestern, they do it all the time. I mean, Ohio State is even after the game last year against Michigan, they start motioning guys. They learn their lessons. So the game has changed. The NFL is different. It's a different level of play, different skill set, different kind of coaching altogether. I mean, you're trying to find ways to get your best on their least talented guy. So you'll see some motions in that situation. But the old quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, they don't like motion. They want to get set. They want to see where you are. When you start moving guys around, coverages change. So the old quarterbacks, they still don't like that.
You said Sam compliment Matt Patricia. No. I complimented them for being able to make being able to look good in a Matt Patricia scheme. So don't get it twisted. I complimented the players. I didn't compliment Matt Patricia. No. Hey man, I look at what I got on. You know who I watched all those years? You don't shed being a bum overnight over a period of you just shed the outer shell. The bum is still there. You just peeled off some layers. You just got the inner workings of the bum exposed now. That's all. And you know what else? You know what else is obvious? As somebody said on here, they went and gave Patricia some credit right here and said, now I get a brother some credit for going ahead and shedding some pounds. Said pre-Ozempic Patricia is different than post-Ozempic Patricia. Now, hey, I get a brother some credit for getting in shape, however he did it. But is he really that different? Because when Matt Patricia was successful, what did he do? He was on a team with Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and a loaded squad. And what did he just do here? He went and joined a championship club that's loaded. I mean, if you take a race car driver and put him in an Indy car, can we really say he's? I mean, it's not like he went and reinvented the wheel here. So he's in a loaded situation, and those are the situations where he's been successful before. Take him out of a loaded situation, what does he do?
So think about all the guys who coached under Bill Belichick. They left, became head coaches, didn't do well. They went back to him and went to other places to be coordinators. They did a better job as coordinators than being bosses. And that's most of them except for maybe one. And that's the guy who's back in New England right now. Had success in Tennessee, having success right now. But every other one, after about 2 or 3 years in the league as head coaches, they either went back to him, they went to broadcasting. They weren't head coaches.
That is true. That is true. All right, let's get a couple more in. Let's see. Keegan Emhoff says, Vance, do safeties need to break their feet down when coming into the box to tackle? He talking about one dude, I think.
Well, you know, I quit using that term probably about 25 years ago. When you break down, it means you stop your feet. I use the term come to balance. In other words, what that means is you drop your hips, shorten your stride, and keep moving to take the air out of it so a ball carrier can't fake you out. When you say break down, guess what they do? Boom. They anchor their feet, and all of a sudden, they can't move. So drop your hips, shorten your stride, and keep gaining ground to the ball carrier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jimmy's in the Joes. This person gets talent wins 90% of the time.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. If you got a real good coach, you win a championship with that talent. You just got an average coach, you just win a bunch of ball games.
Yeah. That is indeed the truth. Vance, all right, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Vance, you've been worried about Northwestern. You've been warning about Northwestern. You've seen the holes in Michigan. You said, y'all got to fix this. They've had a bye week to put in some work and a bye week to get healthier. So give me your prediction for this game, Michigan taking on Northwestern down at Wrigley Field on Saturday.
Did they change the game to a night game?
No. It's noon Eastern, okay. 11 o'clock Central.
Okay. My thing is this, Sam. We need to score 28 points to win. That's all I can say. If we don't score at least 28 points, I don't think Michigan will win this ball game. So we score 28 points, we win. We score 21 points, we lose. That's the only thing I could put to it. So I got to put it. We need to score some points. Don't make it close versus this team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I got to get one question in. I mentioned that in the intro or the description that we're going to talk a little Big Ten. I'll just ask one Big Ten question. You already talked a little bit about Indiana. We've talked about Ohio State some. Penn State. There is talk, Vance, that your old boss. Well, there's talk about Matt Patricia
No,
going to Penn State.
no.
There's also talk about Urban Meyer at Penn State. What you think about your old boss Herb going over there?
That was, I think it was last week. I think Urban was on Fox and his family came on there. He got some kind of award. I think he's getting inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame. He said, no, I'm not going to have a coach again. But behind closed doors, I heard that he did look at it. So he's denying it. Other people saying he did. Some people say, well, he didn't answer the questions right as far as how to deal with NIL and transfer portal. So there's so many different things that come out. You know what? Let him go and Urban, go and enjoy your life. Keep doing what you're doing. You got a podcast. You're on Fox Sports. Man, go enjoy all the money you done made in the 3 national championships you don't want. Enjoy your life and your family. That's what I have to tell him right now. I have to give him some advice.
Hey, listen, go Jay. You are all right, Buckeye, with me. I bet you people surprised to hear me say it's all right, Buckeyes out there. Go Jay. Here's how all right you are with me, man. You come to the game, you come hang out in the Victor's Lounge. I won't even talk bad about you. I talk bad about the Buckeyes. I talk bad about Ryan Day, but I make an exception for you. I mean, you can have free drinks. Everybody get free drinks, but Buckeyes who come normally don't get a chance to drink. Hey, you come on, you have a good time. I treat you right. I'm just saying, you all right with me. Super chat from Go Jay. How about that? See, I bet Wolverine fans will get treated like that when they go over to, although I bet Michigan fans don't go over to Ohio State chats and podcasts. Y'all are different in that way. See, that's probably because we treat y'all better.
That's right.
As long as y'all don't come over here acting foolish, then we got to talk about y'all bad. So, but we appreciate you, Go Jay, and appreciate the super chat. We always have a great time over here. Vance gave you the formula, 28 points. That's not an easy proposition against this team. Let's see how this offense comes off the bye, how the team comes off the bye, but obviously looking to see this offense come off the bye better than they went into it, especially that passing game. Because Vance, I'm confident that they can run the football, but you got to be able to throw it some against this team, and frankly, obviously against the Buckeyes if Michigan's going to win out.
Sam, if I'm Northwestern, I'm going to dare your quarterback to throw the football. I'm going to put everybody in the box I can possibly put in the box. I'm going to say, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me with your freshman quarterback throwing the football. Otherwise than that, you're not. I am going to force him to have to win the game with his arm. And then with his legs, I'm going to make sure if he scrambles, he's going to scramble away from his throwing hand. So he's got to scramble to his left, Sam. And he'll improve. When he got to go to his left, he don't throw a good football. So that's just my observation from a defensive perspective. I'm not giving Northwestern any clues. They don't listen to us. They're too smart anyhow. So it's Sam and I talking. So we don't have to worry about that. But there's certain things I would do. That's how I would attack him. I go back to being at Michigan playing against Tim Tebow. We never let him scramble to his thrown hand. He struggled going away from it. Our quarterback right now is doing the same thing. He struggles going away from his throwing hand. And we still try to boot the guy back to his left, and he's right-handed, and he don't do it very well. But we keep doing it. So, you know, but sometimes coaches get too smart for their own good.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Now it says, no, Sam, Go Jay is not all right. He talked a lot the last few years, but disappeared late November after the game. Then shows up the next year. So here's what we always do. If Michigan loses, we show up and we talk. Now, it just so happens they won the last 4 years, so we've been talking a lot more. But if they lose, I'll be back. So Go Jay. If your team loses, we expect to see you back here because we know we'll see you back here if you win.
That's true, with a bunch of them.
So we expect to see you back here if you lose too. So that does it for this week, folks. Hope you enjoy the weekend. And as folks have been saying, happy Veterans Day to the veterans out there. And it looks like Go Jay is a veteran, so happy Veterans Day to Go Jay. He said Ohio State still sucks.
Yes, they do.
So he had to throw that in there. Appreciate it, though. Appreciate all our veterans in their service. So until the next time, folks, thanks for watching another edition of the Michigan Football Breakdown, focused on the defense with Vance Bedford. We'll see you next week.
Go Blue.